Saving teen lives. I just want to come share a little bit about things that happens when the child becomes permanent injured, disabled, and distraction driving, and just come to share this. But I face a lot going into the public whenever I have to use my wheelchair, and you get to a place where they got handicap parking places, and you pull in there, and they got places marked for van assembly only. And you get in there and you got cars parked that don't have handicap tags or don't have side view ramp. You got a car or a truck parked there. It is frustrating, but I overlook it. Just share parents and teens. This is what you got to go through in public. And it makes it frustrating because you got a van and you got a ramp and you got to allow, I think it's 4 foot for the ramp and 5 foot to come out. So it's a total of 5 foot you got to allow when you come out with your wheelchair. And I just wanted to share experience that what I have to go through. This is what goes on, and business places don't honor what they put fines up, and you got car, truck parked there that doesn't have a handicap tag or it's not equipped for a wheelchair, and you got a car parked where a van should be parked to get a wheelchair out. And you can file all the complaints you want, but they don't listen. This is about saving teen lives and what can happen. Because when you get into a serious accident and your teen becomes disabled and you have to provide for them and you have to push a wheelchair, or even if they got an electric wheelchair and they have to use it, and parents, you got to bring them with you, and you pull up into a parking lot. Think about this. That's why you need to sit down, not sit, but you need to get and talk with your teens and express what you can go through and what happens when you get in the public. Because when you go to a store, it doesn't matter if it's a grocery store, clothing store, a restaurant, but when you get to it and you come and you got places that are marked for cars, for handicapped places, and you got people that does have tags, can't find a place for it, and they have to park. You know how hard it is for them to not be able to get close to the door for them to park. That's hard for a person that really needs the handicap parking place and they can't get there because you got people parking that are not handicapped and don't have tags on their cars showing for the place to park. And the fine is a $500 fine if you park, but business places don't honor it. And if you do get to park there, and I've experienced this before too, park in a handicapped place where I can get my wheelchair out, and car pulls up there and parks right on the side of the door, and I can't open my door to get my ramp out because there's a car parked there. There's no respect at all. Pull there, you call authorities to come and see who the car belongs to and get them to move it. They don't do their job. Cops, business places don't do their job. I've called cops before, to come and ask them, please find out who owns the car, move it so I can open my door. You know what I've been told? Back the van out, back my van out and park in the where the car is going to park, where cars pass in the parking lot to go through the park, and open my side door and get in. That doesn't justify that. That's wrong. I'm parked where I'm supposed to park. This car is parked illegal. And then you come out of a business place. And restaurant places are the world's worst for this. They got a ramp for the wheelchair to walk into, and you park there where you can get in and out. When you come out, you can't get out because the car parks in front of the ramp, right in front of the ramp, and they park there. And you ask the place business owner, restaurant owner, find out who owns this car and get them to move it so we can open the door. So I can get my chair down and open my door. I can't open my door. I can't get my chair down because there's a car parked inside where you need to come up and down to get into the building. I've been told that before at a restaurant. Just pull out in the middle of the parking lot and open your door and get in your van. How am I going to get down? You're off of your concrete slab if I can't use the ramp to get down because the car is parked there. I'm going to sit here to wait for a car for these people to get through eating or whatever they're doing in your restaurant to come and move the car. Then I can get out, or I got to run on the sidewalk and see if they got another access ramp to get out and then come to my van and then get my van and pull it out in the middle of the parking lot to load. There's no justifiable for this. Nobody respects anything, and it makes it hard. Parents, this is what you got to face. This is what your child, your teen will have to face when they go into public and able to start driving again for themselves, you know, because it's hard if they get there and they can't get their wheelchair out, especially if they have no leg movements, then you got to have handbrakes put on your car, on the car for them to use to drive and accelerate and press the brakes by hand control, which fortunately I was lucky about movement back. Some people can't, so the seat had to be removed and put in so that they can drive their wheelchair in and put it in the place of where the seat is for them to drive and use the hand control to brake and accelerate. They have to do that. You have to think about these things, because distraction driving is a hard thing because it's rising each year. Distraction driving rises each year and it gets higher and higher to teen driving distraction. And you need to think about how you want to react and save teens from becoming permanent injured or disabled or teen losing their life. Yeah. And it's hard because you go in public and people don't ask questions. They look at your child, your teen, and seeing them in a wheelchair. And the first thing is their thoughts is, And you can tell by looking what they're thinking. It's easier just if someone just asks what happened or how did you got there. The truth always prevails, no matter what. And I've been through it. Me and my wife both been through it. They look at us and think, and you can see what's going through them, that either drugs was involved, alcohol was involved, and none of that happened. All it was because of distraction driving. This is real. Parents, teens are becoming teenagers. This is real. This is the real world because this really happens. And I just wanted to come and share some of what I go through and what I have experienced in the parking lot because it's hard because business places don't want to honor what they put up outside so vans with wheelchairs and ramps can have access to get their chairs out because you got cars with no handicap tags that are parking there, trucks that are parking there, and none of them have access. None of them have access to ramps or wheelchairs. They get out and they walk like there's nothing wrong, which there ain't nothing wrong with them. They're healthy, but they're taking a spot up that if a handicapped person with a van has a wheelchair and needs that spot, or if it's an elderly person and they got a hanging tag, handicap, and need that parking place where they can park their car, they walk with a walker, but they can't get access to it. You got private plates that are parked in there with no handicap tags, and nothing wrong with them taking the spot up for that really needs it. Parents, your children are precious gift from God. You don't want that devastating phone call and having to go in the emergency room and not knowing whether your child going to make it through the night, whether your child able to over this accident because you don't know. Doctors don't know, and I'm just wanting to share this because it's home becomes this